if I don't put my foot down, I'm never gonna have any say in this marriage. But at the same time, I still love her and I still want the marriage to work. I just want to voice out my opinion, but I know that might not be possible. Because Angela do whatever she wanna do.
Things between Michael and Angela have hit a breaking point again, and this time Michael had to call security. After years of drama, this wild moment went down during a public outing where Angela's crazy behavior caught everyone off guard, including Michael and the people around them. Angela, who's known for her unpredictable meltdowns, didn't hold back when she decided to confront Michael in front of his friends, turning the scene into total chaos. It all kicked off when Michael was hanging out with a few buddies, just trying to relax. But then Angela showed up and started going off on him in front of everyone. Her temper was on full blast as she threw fresh allegations at Michael. And even though Michael tried to calm things down, it was obvious he was feeling pretty embarrassed in front of so many people.
All we've been through, this was your masterpiece. You're not that goddamn nice, Michael. You're nice when you want to be. But when there's something you want to do, you don't give a You're gonna do it, and you'll take the consequences with me later.
Over the years, we have witnessed countless public confrontations between these two, with Angela rarely holding back, even when cameras were rolling. This pattern of public scenes has become almost predictable in their relationship. Time and time again, Angela has crossed lines, taking things too far and turning minor disagreements into major spectacles. Her jealousy has been a constant issue, and it's clear that Angela's fear of losing Michael drives many of these dramatic moments. But her insecurities aren't just personal, they often spill into their public life, embarrassing not only Michael but also the people around them. Now, let's talk about the most recent incident that led to the chaos we're all discussing today. Michael was enjoying a peaceful evening out with friends, finally taking a break from the constant drama that comes with being involved with Angela. It was supposed to be a relaxed night, but things took a turn when Angela stormed in. Well, she charged straight toward Michael, while her anger radiating as she immediately set her sights on him. Angela wasted no time making her presence known, throwing Michael into the hot seat in front of his friends. She shouted out saying, "So this is what you do now, hanging out with these people, pretending to be someone you're not." Now, things got tense as Angela tore into Michael, accusing him of disloyalty, that he was hiding something from her. But Angela didn't stop there. She dragged his friends into the confrontation, calling them out for encouraging Michael to live a double life.
You know, Angela is very outspoken.
Yeah.
She talks.
Seriously, I'm a bit concerned about your life.
As the confrontation escalated, Angela's accusations became sharper. She began throwing out wild claims about Michael's involvement in a chat group that allegedly helps Nigerian men obtain visas through relationships with older women. Angela made it a point to embarrass Michael in front of his friends. Her voice grew louder, her gestures more dramatic, and it was clear that this wasn't just a private argument. Angela wanted everyone around them to know exactly how she felt. Meanwhile, Michael did what he always does. He stayed calm. He even asked her to calm down while trying to convince her to leave before things got worse. His tone was steady, avoiding any hint of confrontation as he did his best to avoid adding fuel to the fire. But Angela wasn't having any of it. That's the reason Michael's friends became uncomfortable. It was clear they didn't know how to handle the situation. Some of them tried to step in, but their efforts were met with more aggression from Angela, who wasn't interested in hearing anyone else's opinion.
Look at me. I don't like you. When I was hospitalized with pneumonia, did y'all give a because a real man would have told him to turn his ass around and go home.
You're way too possessive and bossy.
It's so funny,
calm
ain't
down,
it?
man.
Is that
Stop
funny?
it.
Is that funny?
Now, Angela's anger reached its boiling point as she started physically grabbing at Michael in front of his friends. He knew something had to be done. After trying to calm her down multiple times, Michael made the tough decision to call for security. He couldn't let the situation go further, not just for his sake, but for everyone around him. As the security personnel approached, Angela got more angry. She spun around to face them, her voice rising even louder. "Don't you dare touch me," she screamed, making it clear that she wasn't about to leave without a fight. Her outburst shifted from just Michael to anyone who tried to intervene, and the scene that had already been chaotic suddenly became even more volatile. Angela wasn't backing down, and the tension in the room continued to rise as people started to pay attention to the fight. Security, doing their best to de-escalate the situation, tried to guide Angela out of the venue, but she fought back, resisting their efforts as she yelled, "You're all against me," as she was forcefully escorted out of the building. The whole scene was messy, with Angela's anger and resistance making it clear that she wasn't leaving quietly.
You know how that makes me feel? That he doesn't care about me. Like, who does something like this to their wife? I'll tell you who does. Someone that's not in it for love. A scammer.
Once Angela was finally outside and the dust began to settle, Michael was left standing in silence. There was a heavy silence that hung in the air, and it was clear that the whole event had taken a toll on him emotionally. Michael, who had been trying to hold it together throughout the entire confrontation, now looked drained and defeated. The exhaustion was written all over his face as he sat down, trying to process everything that had just happened. He finally admitted, "I just want to move on," to his friends after a long silence. It was a powerful statement that captured the exhaustion and frustration that had been building for years. His friends, who had witnessed the entire situation, were quick to rally around him. They offered words of encouragement, reminding Michael that he deserved peace and that Angela's behavior wasn't something he had to continue to endure. It was a moment of realization for Michael that hinted that this relationship might be nearing its breaking point. But he is not alone. Many people are calling out this entire incident on social media platforms. A person commented saying, "This woman has no shame or self-respect." Another one wrote, "Michael needs to be protected from that bat. She's probably trying to watch every move he makes." Now, it is not the first time Angela has caused such a public scene. In fact, her history of outbursts had been well documented. One memorable instance happened during a dinner party where Angela accused Michael of flirting with an old friend. What started as a simple dinner escalated into a full-blown argument, with Angela screaming abusive words at Michael in front of everyone.
I called Michael immediately, and he's telling me it wasn't like that. He's trying to tell me that he was lonely, but he didn't mean nothing he said, but because he realized he does love me, and she was just a plaything.
Well, Angela's aggressive tendencies weren't just limited to words either. In the past, there had been physical altercations where her anger had escalated to a point where she lashed out physically. These incidents have shown a clear pattern of behavior that has only gotten worse over time. Angela's public outbursts and social media rants made it difficult for Michael to maintain a sense of normalcy. And her constant presence in his life was becoming more than he could handle. With each new incident, it became clearer that Angela's jealousy was driving her to more extreme actions, creating a toxic environment that was pushing Michael to his breaking point. As the dust settles and Michael reflects on the latest explosive incident, the weight of his situation becomes clearer. He has tried to remain calm and collected throughout Angela's repeated outbursts, but after this latest public confrontation, he realizes something has to change. It's not just about his emotional health anymore, it's about his personal safety and his need to move forward without constant harassment. For the first time, Michael is considering taking legal action to protect himself from Angela's escalating behavior. Michael has begun consulting with a lawyer to explore his legal options. One possibility that has come up in conversation is the idea of filing for a restraining order. After Angela's repeated public outbursts, physical altercations, and constant harassment, a restraining order might be the only way for Michael to establish clear boundaries and prevent further incidents. While this is not an easy decision for Michael, the lawyer has made it clear that Angela's behavior could easily meet the criteria for such legal protection. Given the ongoing pattern of aggression and harassment, a restraining order would force Angela to keep her distance, legally preventing her from continuing to show up at his home, events, or other places uninvited. It would also send a clear message that Michael is no longer willing to tolerate the constant trouble Angela brings into his life. But what do you guys say? Do you all think Angela's behavior has finally crossed the line? Is a restraining order the only way for Michael to find peace and move on with his life? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for the next video where we'll dive deeper into Michael's decision, Angela's reaction, and how this might affect both their futures.